Hello, Rochelle here, and on air with me right now is Bob Cantrall, author of the book The Fall of My Life. Hi, Bob.
Good morning.
Hello. So, Bob's had his share of difficulties in his life, and through his reliance on Christ, he persevered and overcame these obstacles like losing your jobs, divorcing 3 times, in the financial industry devoting so much of your years of your life in Fortune 500 companies, things of that nature. And he has shared his trials in his book, again, called The Fall of My Life. So what are some of the other incidents that occurred, and which specific incident prompted you to write your book?
Well, specifically, the book starts with the start of the Great Recession in 2008, and I was employed at WAMU at the time, living the American dream, and the bank failed. And so I went into unemployment, lost all my retirement funds that were tied up in company stock. As you said, went through a divorce, foreclosure of the home, repossession of a boat and a house, ultimately bankruptcy, and a family member happened to die in that 9-month period as well. So I don't think there was really any one specific incident that drove me to my knees. It was kind of the culmination of all those in a very short period of time.
Yeah. So how in all of these obstacles, all of these trials and tribulations, how did you find that light? How did the Lord guide you out of all of these falls in your life?
Yeah, people have asked me, how did you bounce back? And my answer has been, well, I really didn't bounce back. I crawled back one step at a time. And I think that only looking back from this venue am I able to look back at the events that felt like a curse at the time and see God's hand and how he was guiding me through each step of that to get me back to where I am today. I wound up taking a long, hard look at past scars that had me stuck, and one of those, for example, is this concept that I had lived with, that if you like me, I like you, and how that turned around for me. And another thing that was holding me back from moving forward was just fears. Fears that I didn't realize that I had, and came to understand that the word fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real. And I was able to work through that.
Yeah, wow. Great steps for people to, look towards at how they can build out from their own trials and tribulations. So what is basically the biggest takeaway you can expect your readers to get from your book? What is their main call to action whenever they're going in through some trials or some doldrum periods in their lives?
Yeah, I think that's really the reason the book was written, was that I feel it can be of help to a lot of people who've been through all the types of things that I went through. I think the important message here is that this book is not about a quick fix, a 3-step formula. This was very hard and scary work, and you have to be willing to do that to reap the benefits, and the benefits are just way outweigh the work that went into it. But what I got out of it was I found my true self. I found myself as a perfectly imperfect child of God, created in his image, and I finally understood what God's perfect plan for my life means. And it means to be happy. It means being a human being instead of a human doing, and doing in my instance was striving, right? Always trying. And I learned that I do not have to accept what life gives me. I get to create what kind of life I have. And that just means simple things like when X happens, I get to decide what I think, how I feel, and how I behave about that particular thing. And so from all that, I think the primary message that I want to leave, the most important message, is that I am not an extraordinary person. I'm not an authority. I'm not a writer. But yet I lived through these events, and I wrote this book. And if I can do it, you can do it. That's really the main message. And that all these events led me here now.
Yeah.
And that's exactly where I need to be, and it's the best me I've ever been, and that's just awesome to me.
Oh, such a great takeaway from it. We're so appreciative that you're sharing difficult stages that you went through in your life, and to help others, because that's what our lives are supposed to be about, going through different stages and being able to help others who are going through said difficulties in life. So we're very appreciative for you to be on air with us right now. And hey, if people want to get a hold of you to comment on your book or to keep up with you for any upcoming books, how could they do so?
Yes, I have a website. It's bobcantrall.com. And on there's a blog that we can interact. There's attachments to other emails, articles I've written. There's attachments to my Facebook and LinkedIn websites. And so that's definitely the best way to stay in touch and keep up.
Definitely. And also, you can check out our website, aliveradionetwork.com, and you can scroll over to the right of the page. You'll see the Great Reads tab, and you can click on the book image linked to Bob Cantrall's book. Again, The Fall of My Life. It's linked to a purchasing website. And again, thank you so much, Mr. Cantrall, for interviewing with us, and we're so appreciative of you sharing your book with us here at Alive Radio.
Well, thanks for having me.